friends, this is Sarah with Healthy Families for God. I am here for a few minutes really quick to share with you the one single most powerful nutrient for energy and adrenals. It's just one vitamin. And I wanted to answer some questions that I get the most often about that vitamin. So when I was early on in my natural health journey and learning things, I once learned about this story of how this culture, these people, the traditional people they discovered once that when they had things that we now call scurvy going around in their people, in their village, that if they were to eat the adrenal glands of a moose, that they could take care of that and they would prevent it. And so that became a staple for them because of what we now know is about vitamin C and about adrenals. Vitamin C is something I talk about a lot, and I've always talked about a lot, and it's something that gets a lot of controversy. And so I wanted to cover a couple of the questions that come up around that a lot. But the interesting thing is that the adrenal glands are the most concentrated source of vitamin C in the body, and that applies for moose, apparently, they figured out too. And so if they were to eat it raw, obviously raw, because vitamin C heating destroys vitamin C. So if they would eat it raw, they could prevent scurvy in their people during times when fresh food wasn't available. And so that shows us how important vitamin C is for adrenal glands in that way. But many of you have learned this from me over the years and have found that, supplementing your daily regimen with vitamin C significantly helps and makes a very noticeable difference in energy. And so it's not just putting something like caffeine over it and masking the fatigue only to make it worse in the long run, but it's actually helping with the fatigue by giving energy, but also healing too, and helping the adrenal glands to be strengthened. So a lot of the questions that I get coming up around vitamin C, one of them is like it's synthetic. Well, it's actually produced from food, just like anything that's in a supplement. And if you look at other nutrients, they go through processing too, just like vitamin C or ascorbic acid does. Is it as effective as food vitamin C? Well, a couple of things to cover on that. Number one, by the time the food that you get at the grocery store is there, the vitamin C content is probably null or not substantial enough because it's lost in processing. And so vitamin C is a really tender nutrient, and it's not one, unfortunately, that we can get from food so much anymore unless we were to, say, grow our own peppers, which are a better source than oranges, bell peppers, and things like that. People sometimes will, that obviously don't follow my page, will say like, well, I drank some vitamins or some orange juice, so I'm good. And unfortunately, that also doesn't work for the therapeutic benefits that we need for getting from vitamin C. So one thing I've learned over the years in naturopathy training and orthomolecular medicine is that the body does need high concentrated amounts of vitamin C in order to get the effects that we're often expecting it to provide. And so sometimes those are higher doses than most people realize at first, and it kind of throws them back. But vitamin C is a water-soluble nutrient, and so you're going to pee out anything that your body doesn't use. If the tissues become saturated in the body, or if too much is taken at once, and it quickly saturates the body's tissues, it can loosen bowels, which can be a good thing for some people since most people are not moving their bowels as much as they need to. Another thing to know about it, though, is that it is a very tender nutrient. And so, like I said, it's not very much in food, and smaller amounts really just don't have the benefit. And when you're buying it from a company that doesn't value quality, it may be just not doing anything, and it may be a complete waste of money. So for me personally, when I learned this and saw the benefits of it for my own adrenal health and situations in life that I can't get rid of, and so I need to continuously support my adrenal health for energy and things like that too, is I put approximately 6,000 milligrams just daily maintenance on a good day in water that I drink every day of the powder. And I was looking for a powder that would work well for that. A lot of the powders don't dissolve unless it's in really warm water or something. And so I had sought out one, and I found it through one of my supplement manufacturers. They have a very, very fine one that dissolves better. And so that's the one I've been using. And I add a little bit of Young Living Vitality drops to it, electrolyte drops, which helps with the sourness of the ascorbic acid. One of the other things that comes up with vitamin C, people ask is, well, does it have the same effect in the body as like vitamin C from food? So I dug into the research, and I found there was a study that they did comparing the vitamin C from kiwi fruit to ascorbic acid, and they found that it actually acted the same in the body. Now, I'm all for more from foods, absolutely. But sometimes we have situations in our lives where we just need extra power to recuperate our health, and we can't eat enough kiwi fruit in order to just really take care of ourselves. We have a lot of demands on us, for all of us, tired mamas especially, and things like that. And so I'm not going to see the benefits from eating a bunch of kiwi fruit that I am from taking the powder, 6,000 milligrams or so a day. Obviously, in times of stress, lack of sleep, those all wear out our body's vitamin C storage. It's a really rapidly depleted nutrient. And so I increase my dosage personally of that more. And a lot of things that people are seeing now, like what's called long COVID, is really just a depletion of nutrients, vitamin C being one of them. There are others. And so these long-term effects, we're really just seeing just what severe nutrient deficiency or depletion looks like right now. And so it just shows how much more we really just need to replenish those nutrients. And it unfortunately isn't going to come by drinking orange juice or kiwi fruit, as much as I love kiwi fruit. And so a couple of the other things that we've utilized, Liposomal C, which is basically vitamin C that's processed with a fat molecule in order to help it be absorbed better in the body. So we personally call it Lipo C, and we keep that on hand for more urgent situations where we need high dosing of vitamin C, where we need more of the C into our body and into our body quickly in an easier form to take. And so we keep that on hand for times of sickness, for times of recovery. That could be recovery from stress, recovery from some traumatic event, recovery from consecutive nights of lack of sleep, or an allergic reaction. And that's something that we want to get high doses of really absorbable vitamin C in really quickly. And so that's when we will use the Lipo C. We have a big bottle in our store of Lipo C now. That's what we are able to get from the company. And we also have packets. I like the packets. We bring them with, and if there's an urgent need for them, or like one of my kiddos, my 21-year-old, he likes to just take a packet before or after work, and that's how he would prefer. He prefers to take vitamin C that way. So we all have different preferences on how we like to take it. And I'm all for whatever works for each person. So, but usually because of the price difference, the Lipo C is a little bit more expensive. It's, basically 3 times more available to the body. And so 1,000 milligrams of a Lipo C or of a regular vitamin C would be equal to like 3,000 milligrams of a regular vitamin C. And so, but it doesn't cause the loose bowels like it would if you were to get really high amounts with the regular vitamin C ascorbic acid. So there are benefits to each, and it's just kind of knowing which one you need and which one works for you in your situation. But after having told a lot of people, hey, I really and I have been taking 6,000 milligrams of vitamin C or more a day for 8 or 9 years. I started taking a lot when I was pregnant with my 6th child, because I could tell the energy was there from it and I needed it. And then just kept on it and just learned that I needed to increase during times of lack of sleep or stress or illness or those kinds of things. So it's something to have on hand if you, are going to have a time where you need something quickly to work fast I would highly recommend having some form of Lipo C available. And, if there's an allergic reaction, it acts like a natural antihistamine. In high doses, vitamin C acts like a natural antihistamine. It acts like a natural antibiotic. It's anti-inflammatory. But again, these are qualities that you'll see in high doses. And when I say high doses, I'm talking thousands of milligrams or more. I've seen some people in situations where they were quite sick. We work on achieving bowel tolerance. And so that means dosing hourly or every 2 hours, usually 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams in times of acute issues, where we want to get up to where it causes loose bowels, and then just taper back 1 dose from there. And that's what's called bowel tolerance. So it's the amount that's going to saturate the body's tissues for maximum benefit, just shy of the body having loose bowels and being saturated with it, and getting rid of what's left over. So I've seen people in times of sickness, their body holds like 30,000 milligrams a day in order to get the benefits and before it causes loose bowels, because that's just how sick their body is. And again, the body consumes it really rapidly. So that's why we do the hourly or bi-hourly doses for vitamin C. The body is just consuming it really fast in times of acute issues, like I said, sickness or huge stress or allergic reactions or things like that. So those are some of the benefits we had. And I personally, I'm just going to keep sharing about it because I feel like we're in a time where we need to have natural things on hand that work like that. And we need to know how to use them because this information is not going to be out there someday. They're going to be taking all that down. And it's a really powerful tool. And I've been sharing about it for 10 years. And I get messages all the time about just really how effective and how powerful it is for people. We saw when COVID hit, I couldn't keep up with the orders for vitamin C, and my manufacturers couldn't keep it in stock for me because people were seeing that this is something that really works. And so for us personally, we will always have a stockpile of it because some days we found it's not available. But again, for all you tired mamas, I'm here. I feel you. If you need some natural energy, that is one of the things I would look into. I'm going to share more on that, what I have found to actually make a true difference for energy when we are tired and our adrenals need some help. And I would just say, as far as the Lipo C goes, it's always good to have something like that on hand. You just never know when you're going to need it. I never travel without it. The other thing I shared in the link in this post is on the Adrenal Cocktail that I have that contains a whole food vitamin C for those who prefer whole food source, or the power in that one is the ratio of vitamin C to sodium and potassium. And I'm going to be sharing more about that one. So just stay tuned if you want to learn more about that, because that is especially for those of you who wake up with headaches. We're going to be talking about how that works for those. I'm always a gigantic fan of magnesium for headaches and migraines, but when you wake up with a headache, magnesium doesn't touch it. I know, I've lived it, and that is the one thing that I've found that works for that. There's one other important thing in lifestyle, not a supplement, but a little lifestyle shift that is necessary for that too. So stay tuned. I'll be talking about that. I hope you're subscribed to my newsletter because I'm putting as much of this as I can in there. So I hope that helps. There's another powerful tool for you to make sure to have in your preparedness arsenal. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Have a great weekend.